Hello, everyone. Welcome to our today's lesson. And I'm great to see Mr. Dan and Mr. Kelvin. CPA Dan, I taught you some time back. It's great again to reunite in this particular forum. So kindly, as we start, I would want to make a humble request to Dan and Kelvin, who have just joined us, to share this particular clip on your Facebook accounts, on your timelines. Dan, do me a favor. Go to this particular post, which is streaming live on Facebook, and share it to like 3 groups. 3 groups. Kevin, the same. So you can start with a big audience. And that is what exactly I'm doing before I tell you the secret, before I tell you what I would want us to cover today. Okay, so I'm able to see this AfriSchool live stream. So what I would want to do to boost the numbers is to share. So I'm sharing here, share to groups. Okay. Great, I can see the numbers going up. So most importantly, don't forget to share it on your timelines, on your pages. If you've got a very busy page, you can also decide to send these things here to your friends as direct messages, like what I'm doing. Okay, and that is it. So today I want us to look at something so easy, under topic number 4, called cost accumulation, specifically how to distribute, how to reapportion overheads using simultaneous equations method. And I would want us to look at this question of November 2017. Question number 1, November 2017, question number 1, management accounting. For those of you who have already bought our revision kits, you simply go to page number 40, RCM's revision kits. You go to page number 40. Great. So we are told here Mazuri Limited, a manufacturing company, has 3 production departments and 2 service departments. You must underscore service departments. Overheads for the department for a specific period are as follows. So they have given us overheads here. You can see we have our production departments X, Y, and Z, whose overheads are located out there. And then we have the service departments A, B, whose overheads are there. A technical assessment for the apportionment of the service department costs were as follows. And then output for the production department during the period are provided below. So they want us to give them the total overheads chargeable to the production departments using, number 2 is my main area for this particular clip, using simultaneous equations method. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it will be very important for us to know why these service departments here, A and B, can never be left with any overhead at the end of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, A and B are service departments. Service departments are those departments here which can never leave, which can never stay in an organization in isolation, alone. These are basically those departments which exist to support the production departments. To give you a very good example, like now this college, assuming we have got like say 40 lecturers who are basically producing students and ensuring that they teach very well for students here to be able to see their next levels. If it's CPA, for example, from CPA section 2, you see section 3. If it is ACCA, from paper F2, you go to paper F3. So lecturers are basically producing, fine. So these are production units. How about if in the college we happen to be having a school canteen, where, for example, lecturers can go and grab a cup of tea. So canteen is not basically involved in terms of transforming these students directly. So lecturers will go, get, for example, a cup of tea, get the necessary energy to come and teach. So canteen, kitchen, stores, maintenance, all those are very good examples of what here? Service departments. Most importantly, because they are support departments, at the end of the day, they should never carry any costs. Their costs, in this case here, have to be transferred to the production departments for us to be able to get the total production cost, which we shall be able to charge to the units we sell as a cost of sale. And we have got really many methods that we can use for us to be able to get these overheads from the service departments to the production departments. And one of those methods, which basically is the key method of the day, is what we call the simultaneous equations approach. Now, ladies and gentlemen, under simultaneous equations, you're supposed to remember this formula. You're supposed to remember this formula. The total overhead of any service department, the total overhead of any service department will always be equal to the allocated overhead, plus, in this case here, what we call the inter-services, specifically from the other service department. So remember, these service departments also happen to be serving themselves, what we are calling the inter-services. So inter-services, services from the other service, what here, departments. Now here we happen to be having two service departments, so we shall let the total overhead of A to be represented by X. And then we will let the total overhead of B to be represented by Y. So ladies and gentlemen, if that is the case, then following this formula, our total overhead for A will look like this. Total overhead is X, which will be equal to the allocated overhead. You can see the overhead has been allocated is 1,000. So allocated overhead is 1,000 plus the inter-service from the other service department. So this other service department, you can see that A is getting a service of 10% from department B. So in this case here, then it can only be proper if A is to consume 10% of B's overhead, which is Y. So in this case here, plus 10% of Y. Y is B. Remember, this is inter-service from the other department. Ladies and gentlemen, as we continue, as I go straight away towards forming equation for department B, please share. Let's share. Let's show Mwalimu some love today on a Sunday by sharing his clip on your timelines. Remember the sacrifice that I've really made to be here. The sacrifice that I've really made to be here today to come and teach you these things. The only benefit that I expect you people to give me is simply to share. You share these on your timelines so you can take us to the next level. We want to transform how these classes are being done outside here. We want everybody to see how basically excellent classes are being run. You know, there are very many conmen outside here. People who have got nothing to offer, but they are really good at advertisements. So we want people to see the real transformation of our classrooms. So please help people outside there, share. There are people, for example, who have never gotten an opportunity of being in a CPA classroom. Now here we are giving you real life experience to be able to see some of the most seasoned lecturers in CPA in this country for free. So why can't you just hit like 5 shares there? It's quite easy. You share, like that's what I'm doing at the moment. I can even decide to pick the link that I've picked to go to my WhatsApp groups. How comes I'm there and I'm able to really, beat you in this game. So like now I'm just posting this in various groups on WhatsApp. I'm sharing the link. Groups in this case here where we have students of CASNEB. Great. I'm just taking some little break here to share, because I know that there are so many people outside there who are in need of this kind of classes, but because they don't have information, they can't access them. So sharing is part of the game. Sharing is part of the game. Sharing is part of the game. I don't mind giving some small present to that student who will be able to share really intensively. And please remember, if you have got any question, just go there and ask questions. Ask questions. Ask questions. There are comments. Seeing that we have got Zoom. Yeah, we have got Zoom. We have got Zoom. We are on Zoom, where we have put our ID address up there. Zoom is quite important, better by far compared to this Facebook Live. Why? Because when you are in Zoom, you're able to see me. I'm able to see you as your lecturer. We are able to interact. We're able to talk. Actually, if I could have all these students who are on Facebook going to Zoom, the better for us. Just go to Zoom. Go to Zoom. Thank you very much, my administrator, for remembering that. That is quite important. We should be able to carry all of them, all these students in our Zoom. I'm still sharing because I know the importance. I'm not doing this basically just for marketing, really. We simply want people to know that there is something good here. So if there is anybody who has been able to share like 5 times, please tell us so that we can give you a present. Tell us. We need to give you a present. Great. So let's get back now to business. Let's get back to business. Let's get back to business. Let's get back to business. So here we are. Remember, the total overhead equals allocated what? Overhead for this service department plus any inter-services which these service departments are getting from their colleagues, their sister service departments. So we're able to form the one of department A. How about B? I'm following this model here. The total overhead of B, we have said, let it be Y, which will be equal to the allocated overhead. Allocated overhead of B is 700 and what? 780. Plus the inter-services, you can see B is being served by A. So it can only be proper if B takes 20% of A's overhead. So in this case here, plus 20% of A's overhead, which is X. Which is X. Ladies and gentlemen, this one here will boil down to what? It will be X equals 1,000 plus 0.1 Y. So come and plug in these in Y's equation. So our Y will be equal to 780 plus 0.20% is the same as 0.2. Of X, fortunately, we know what X is. It is 1,000 plus 0.1 Y. Then my Y will be equal to 780 plus, please open up here, this will be 0.2 times 1,000. That gives me what here, somebody? 200. 200 what here? X plus 0.02 Y. So from there, let's put like terms together. Take these to the other side of the coin. Y minus 0.02 gives us 0.9. 98y equals 780 plus 200. Sorry, this is supposed to be times, not x. So it's 200 times what here? 200 times 1,000 is just 200, yes? So 780 plus 200, that gives us 980, right? What have I done? I've taken these to the other side. On the other side, it's going to change its sign. So it will be 1y minus 0.02y, which will be 0.98y. Equals, on this side, we have got two constants, 780 and 200. So then 0.98y equals 980, and therefore, y will be 980 divided by 0.98, which automatically will be 1,000. So having gotten the value of y, I'll very easily give you the value of x by plugging in the figure of y here. So then what do we have here? We have 1,000 plus 0.1 times y, which happens to be 1,000. Then x will be equal to what here? 1,100. So we are saying something very important here, that our department A, whose total overhead is x, is supposed to be 1,100, and the B, whose total overhead is y, is supposed to be 1,000. Y is 1,000. Y is 1,000. So any question up to there, ladies and gentlemen? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? It doesn't have to be just a question, but also criticism. As at Afri School, we normally eat criticisms, and that is why we are able to do quite an excellent job. We take in your criticisms and we are able to work on them so seriously to improve. Even how we invest basically is guided by your criticism. So don't fear to criticize us. Tell us there, this is what you need to do. And of course, through that, we'll be able to build an organization which will be able to outlive us. If there is a question that I've got a wrong figure, don't also fear telling us that figure is wrong. With my years of experience, I don't think that really will be a major issue. What we shall do is to correct, and everybody benefits. Ladies and gentlemen, as we talk, I'm very happy because I can see the numbers are going up, albeit slowly. We are now at 30, 38, 38. Please share. Just promote Mwalimu by tagging in people there. Remember, they want us to give them the total overheads. So we have here the overhead analysis schedule. Overhead analysis schedule. So we have our departments X, Y, Z, and then we have A and what here? A and B. The service departments A and B. So we have here what we call the allocated overheads. So the allocated overheads, they are here. Allocated overheads, they are here. You can see X was given 2,500. You can see Y was given 2,000. Z was given 1,500. And then you go to the service departments. What is given to them is what we call allocated or even allotted, 780. Now remember, when we started, we said that we don't want A and B being service departments. We don't want them to remain with any overhead. So we'll come and remove overheads from A. So from department A. So department A, don't remove this 1,000 alone. We know that department A was receiving something small from B, and that is why the total department A's overhead was 1,100. So we are deducting 1,100, and then we redistribute this to all the departments. Using which proportions? The proportions to be used are given here. A, you can see 30%. So we have 0.3, we have 0.3, we have 0.2, we have 0 dash here, and then we have 0.2 like that. So 30%, 30%, 20%, 0, and then 0.2. So what are we distributing? It is this 1,100. So of course, 0.3 of 1,100, that gives me 330. This will be 330 as well because of 0.3. And then we have 220, and then of course this is 0, and then we have 220 like that. From there we go to department B. From department B, the percentages to be used here for department B, ladies and gentlemen, are given here. Department B, ladies and gentlemen, are given here. We have 0.4, we have 0.3, we have 0.2, we have 0.1 and 0. So, and how much are we removing in total from B? It is 1,000. The total that we got here. The total that we got there. So, unfortunately, this is an agreement. If you add this, you get 1,000. So, come and distribute this 1,000 as per the percentages. So, 40% of 1,000 here is 400. This will be 300. This will be 200. This will be 100. And of course, 0. And then, of course, you will come and give us the totals as per the departments. The totals as per the departments. So what do we have here? The total overheads, which now will be able to absorb to our product cost units. Product cost units. So what do we have here? So the first one will be 2,500, 2,500, 2,500 plus 330 plus 400, which gives us 32, 2,000 plus 330 plus 300, which gives us 2,630. Then we have 1,500 plus 220 plus 200 equals, we have 1,920. This automatically will be 1,000 minus this, that's minus 100 minus this, that gives me 0. The other one gives me 0. And essentially, that's what we wanted. We wanted a situation where we transfer everything from the service departments to the production what here departments, to the production departments, to the production departments. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'll be showing you later on something very, very important, and that is why I don't want you to run away. Don't run away. Don't run away. Don't run away. I'll be showing you something very important. Don't run away. And as we wait to see what Mwalimu has in store for you, please don't forget that this class is coming live to you. It's a live stream to you from the capital city of Kenya called Nairobi. AfriSchools offices, AfriSchools offices, AfriSchools offices, AfriSchools offices, and we are able to stream live to you for free simply because of our partnership. You know, Joshua Aura basically is a creation of Facebook, is a creation of social media.